Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Dee. I'm with DJ Designs. I'm the owner, designer, and creator for DJ Designs. Today I'm going to show you how to make your wire wrapped earrings. This is a beginner friendly project. I started making wire earrings maybe a couple months ago, and I was surprised how easy it was. And I decided to make a tutorial to show people who want to learn how to do the wire earrings. These are the items that you're going to need to complete this project. You're going to need wire. This is 12 gauge wire. You're going to need 18 gauge wire. This is going to be for the earring hooks. We're going to make our own custom earring hooks for this project. You're going to need 3 inches of the 12 gauge wire. You can cut that. Actually, it's 2 inches of the 12 gauge wire. You're going to need 2 earring hooks for this project. You're going to need your wire cutters, jewelry cutters. You're going to need a hammer and something to place the earrings on to give it that hammered look, if you could see the hammered look on this. Okay? All right, well, let's get started. Okay, you're going to start with the 12 gauge wire, and normally I don't cut it in the beginning because I don't know how much I'm going to need. And you need your round nose pliers, needle nose pliers, and I want you to bend that all the way around till it's around. Okay, you're going to have a small loop that looks like that. Okay, then you put it in the hole, you bring it around, move it, bring it around. Bring it around, maybe about 2 or 3 times until you get you can have a grip on it to use the flat pliers. Now I'm going to use the nylon pliers, and I'm going to hold it, and this way these pliers will prevent you from getting the marks on the swirl. And keep holding, turning, holding, turning, holding, turning, and holding, turning. And I'm going to speed this up for time's sake. All right, once you get to the desired width, and I measured the one that I had previously, and we're going to do the opposite earring, so it's going to be opposite. Then you just take your finger and make a bend, and then make another bend. Your finger is a good guide. Okay. Once you get to that point, then you want to measure, I want to say about 5.5 inches from the bend. And then you want to snip it with your cutters till you have something like this. Okay. All right. So now what you want to do is take your hand, and I use some kind of a guide. You really don't have to use this, but I use a guide to help me with my curve. You don't have to do this, but this works for me. And just bring it around. Bring it around. Looks like I might have to cut a little bit more off of this, just a little bit to make that loop. And then you get your jewelry pliers to make your loop. I'll put a link in the description for these. I like these because they're multi-purpose. You can get different sizes on this. Okay. So because I made the other one, I have to kind of match it up. You have to match up the size so you'll have somewhat the same size. Then you kind of take your fingers and manipulate it so that you can get the rounded effect. But we are going to do the hammered effect with this. So even if it's not perfect, it looks just about right. Even if it's not perfect, we're going to do the hammered effect. This will help us straighten it out. Okay, it's looking good. All right, and you kind of take your hand and you kind of straighten it out. And this is called a ring gauge, and typically you make rings with it, but it does help me to round out some of the wire. You have to kind of play with it. It is bendable. That's what I like about the 12 gauge wire. Okay, once you're happy with the way you bend the wire to look similar or as close as possible to the other one, then you want to get your hammer. And this is an Anvil that I use. I also use this mat to keep it steady and also to cut down on the noise. And we're going to just lightly tap, and I'll put the link in the description for this hammer. I have so many different kinds, but I like this one. And just lightly tap it. Just lightly tap it. You don't want to bend it out of shape. And the corners, you just want to hit and drag, hit and drag, hit and drag, because we want to bend these corners. These corners helps keep the earring strong. It keeps the earring stronger, and it helps it keep its shape. Okay, and you want to turn it over, and you want to do the same thing. You just want to lightly hit it and drag it, just lightly, and you'll see what I mean. Because if you bang it too much, then it'll put your earring too flat, and then you're not going to like the results. Trust me, I know. So just kind of hit and drag, and this takes a little practice. I did it a couple times, but I watched a couple YouTube videos on how to actually use this hammer, and it works really well when you hit and drag it. Okay, I'm going to compare it to my other one because I want it as close as possible. That's looking good. Yeah, that's looking really good. Just a little, making sure you're keeping the shape before you hit it. Okay, so a little bit more on this side. I like the way this hammerhead is shaped because it does help when you're dragging. Okay, all right, we just about got this first earring done. Now what you want to do is get your earring hook, and we're going to slip this on. And the opening usually is facing toward the hook, and just bend that slightly, just enough to get the earring on the hook. Need it a little bigger. I might even change these hooks to the other hooks that I'm going to show you in the other earring. It is a little thicker for the thicker wires, but I kind of like the look. with the smaller earring on this particular design. Okay, and put it back like so. And there you have it. That took less than 10 minutes. And there you have it. I think I'm going to turn this one this way since we already have one facing that way. And there you have it. Really like the way this came out. This sells very well at my craft shows, by the way. Okay. All right, let's get started on the next one. Okay, for this design, I used the silver tone aluminum wire. And once again, we're going to start off the same way. We're going to make our loop. Just hold it and make it go around, all the way around before you release. Go around, around, keeping it as straight as possible. I'm going to use my nylon pliers once you get a good grip on it. You can also use your hands. I tend to use my hands a lot with this as well. It works very well. And I'll show you the hand method the other way I showed with the pliers, but I'll show you the hand method. Actually, it goes a little quicker. So it's whatever your preference is. If you want to use your hands, you can use your hands, but as you can see, I'm going a little faster. Okay, till you get the desired size. And of course, I made the other earring, so we got to measure until we get the desired width of the other earring. Okay. A little bit more. Okay. All right. Okay, once you get to the desired width that you like, you want to cut off about, and I'm guessing this, I hope I got this right, I'd say about 7 inches you want to cut the wire. You're going to need to cut it because you're going to do the spiral. I'd say 7 inches. We can always cut off any excess. All right, so what I use, and you could use any rounded metal object, I use a metal straw, and I just hold it down. And I just begin wrapping the wire around the straw. Keep it as tight as possible against the straw. Maybe about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 4 times. That's good. 4 times sounds good. Okay, and this wire is very bendable, so don't be afraid if it's out of shape. You can always manipulate it. And okay, so that's looking good. All right, once you wrap it around 4 times, then it looks like we did cut off a little excessive, but that's okay. You want to turn it this way because we're doing the opposite end, and you want to make that bend. And I'm going to cut off a little more. It looks like we cut too much. Maybe cut 1.5 inches more off. Okay. Okay, once you get it to there, maybe a little more. It's hard to do it when you're doing a second one. So now we're going to make that loop. As you can see, that loop, we're going to make that S loop. Bring that around. And I'm using maybe the second row of this plier. This is a multi-size loop, which I like because you don't have to have different size pliers to accomplish that. Okay. All right, so we got that. All right, we got our second earring. Let's make this a little wider. It's really hard to try to match up the first one. Looks like that one's a little wider. Okay. That looks better. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is make custom earring wires because I wanted the thicker wires to go with this one. So take the 3-inch wire and just bend it in half. Okay, then you want to make your loop. And I use the smallest loop when I'm making the loop for these earrings. Bend it around. Till you got a loop. Okay. And then you want to, it's really easy to do these. You want to just take your pliers and then you want to, let's cut this off a little bit. It's a little bit too long. And then we want to just bend it out just a little so it's easy to go into the ear. Okay. And you want to open it a little bit to get it in there. Let's see which way we're going here. Okay, we got our custom wire hoops. All right, I think I'm gonna hammer this one out a little bit as well, just to give it that look and strengthen it. Be interesting to see how this would look, just slightly hammered, just to keep the shape and the strength. Just a little, because I really like the round look, the rounded look. And also the edge of the ear, I should have done this before I put it on, but just slightly, that keeps the shape of that. Let's do the other one. And we want to do the bend on this one. And it's best to do these before you put it on the earring. Okay. Okay, we're going to get our second hook on. Make sure I face it the right way, because one earring has to reflect the other one. And get in there and close it up. And then you got your second earring done. Oh, look like I need to turn this one. The other way. to make it reflect. You don't want the earrings to be the same. And this is when it's reflected. All right, we got the second pair done. And there we have it, 2 earrings in less than 30 minutes. It does take a little practice. Like I said, I started doing this maybe a couple months ago, and I was surprised how simple it was. It just takes a little practice for the technique. And if you want to know how to make these professional looking earring cards, I'll put a link in the description. I do have a tutorial for that. This will conclude my video tutorial today. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please like and consider to subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.